The story begins with a tribal man running through a jungle trying to escape from something unknown. While running, he falls into a river. As he tries to climb out, the branch he is holding suddenly breaks, causing him to fall back into the water. Moments later, an unseen creature drags him underwater. Only a few flower leaves remain floating on the surface. Meanwhile, in New York City, a meeting is taking place at a pharmaceutical company. The company executives tell a man named Award, "You promised to create a cure for everything from the common cold to cancer, but you failed to achieve it. Because of that, we are handing the entire project over to another company." Golden then speaks to Dr. Jack and asks him to explain the situation. Dr. Jack tells everyone about a rare flower called Perrin, also known as remote less or the black and white flower. He explains that this flower blooms only once every 6 months. According to him, he first witnessed this flower in 1898. Scientists later discovered that the flower contains a special chemical capable of increasing the lifespan of human cells. Not only could it extend human life, but it could also keep people young for a very long time. Dr. Jack explains that they once obtained a sample of the flower from recovered bodies. However, the sample was damaged during research, so they now need fresh flowers for further study. The biggest problem is that the flower will bloom for only 2 more weeks before disappearing again for many years. Because of this, the pharmaceutical companies are desperate to obtain the flower at any cost. Soon, a team of 6 people travels to Borneo in search of the mysterious plant. To reach the jungle, they must first cross a dangerous river during the rainy season. Since the river is extremely risky, no one is willing to guide them through it. Eventually, a man named Bill Johnson agrees to take them across the river in exchange for a huge amount of money. Bill is accompanied by his assistant and a pet monkey named Coon. After traveling on the river for the entire day, the group continues their journey during the night. At one point, Coon notices fruit hanging high in a tree and runs into the jungle to grab it. While chasing the fruit, the monkey suddenly senses danger approaching and quickly climbs a tree to hide. The next morning, Bill Johnson searches everywhere for Coon but cannot find him. At the same time, a young woman steps toward the corner of the boat while talking on a satellite phone. A small gate suddenly opens beneath her, causing her to fall into the river. Everyone rushes to pull her back onto the boat. Suddenly, a crocodile appears in the water and attacks Gail. Before the crocodile can kill her, Bill Johnson jumps into the river and stabs the creature with his knife. He manages to save Gail and climbs back onto the boat. Then we are shown that something dangerous has pulled the crocodile into the water, and then they all start their journey in this dangerous river and start moving forward, and then after some time the monkey comes back and is very scared. Bill Johnson calms her down by sitting her on his shoulder. Later that night, heavy rain begins while the group is crossing the river. Bill tells Dr. VJ that the water level is rising rapidly, and the route they are taking has become very dangerous. Because of this, they may need to take a different path. Dr. VJ refuses and says, "We cannot waste time because the flower will only bloom for 1 more week. You do not understand how valuable this flower is. It could change the entire world." Bill responds, "If you want me to continue through this dangerous route, you will have to pay me another $50,000. Dr. Jack agrees to the demand. Bill then adds another condition. "If anything goes wrong during this journey, you will all take responsibility for it." Dr. Jack agrees once again. The next morning, while crossing the river, Bill notices that the floodwater has become much stronger. Suddenly, the steering system of the boat gets stuck, causing the boat to move straight ahead uncontrollably. Bill quickly realizes that danger is near. He grabs the controls and tries to reverse the boat. However, the underwater engine suddenly shuts down. Moments later, the boat crashes downward with a massive impact. Thankfully, nobody dies in the accident, although the boat suffers serious damage. Bill then informs the group that another river is located nearby. He explains that one of his friends operates a port there, and if they somehow reach it, they can continue toward their destination. Bill gives the group 2 possible routes. The river route would take nearly 2 days, while traveling through the jungle could get them there by evening. Using a satellite phone, Bill contacts his friend and asks for help at the port. His friend agrees to help in exchange for $5,000. The group then begins traveling through the forest to reach the second river. Along the way, they come across a large pond. While crossing the pond, one of the men notices movement in the water and warns everyone. However, nobody believes him. Suddenly, the man walking at the back disappears beneath the water. At first, everyone thinks he is joking. A moment later, he rises from the water screaming in fear. Behind him, a giant anaconda suddenly appears. The massive snake grabs him in its jaws and drags him back underwater. Terrified, the rest of the group rushes out of the pond. Bill tells them that the creature was a human-eating anaconda. However, he says they should not panic because such snakes usually stay within their own territory, which stretches for miles. According to him, they are unlikely to encounter another one anytime soon. Someone in the group then asks, "How can we be sure that the same anaconda is not still following us?" Kane explains that an anaconda takes weeks to fully digest a human body, so they still have time before it becomes hungry again. At this point, the man responsible for the entire mission says, "I am ending this expedition right now," but Dr. Jack refuses to stop. He says, "I will reach that flower no matter what happens." Sam then steps in and says, "First, we need to safely complete this journey and reach the port. After that, we can decide what to do next." Before leaving, Sam quietly tells VJ, "Once we reach the port, this mission will end. I will make sure everyone gets to safety." He says, "You made a deal with me, so now keep your promise. Forget everyone else. I do not want more people to lose their lives, and I cannot guarantee that we will not encounter another anaconda ahead. The group continues moving through the dangerous jungle. After some time, Bill quietly tells Balsam, "I warned Jack about the danger, but we had a private deal. He promised me another $50,000. This situation is my fault." Until that moment, nobody else in the group knew about the secret agreement between Bill and Jack. As they continue walking toward the boat, several blood-sucking insects attach themselves to their bodies. Everyone begins pulling the insects off one by one. During this, one of the men removes his shoes to clean himself. As he starts putting them back on, his assistant offers to help him. The man refuses and suddenly pulls a large spider out from inside the shoe. He explains that if the spider had bitten him, his entire body could have become numb for 2 days. He carefully traps the spider inside a small container and says, "This creature may contain chemicals useful for medicine. We could earn a fortune from this discovery." Meanwhile, his friend approaching on a boat near the river. Suddenly, a giant anaconda attacks the boat. The snake enters the vessel, causing the boat to lose control before it explodes in the river. Bill and the others rush to the scene and discover that the boat has been completely destroyed. They collect whatever useful supplies they can find from the wreckage. One of the assistants explains that tribal people have lived in this region for thousands of years. He suggests that if they can find the tribe, they may be able to borrow a boat from them. The group then sets out to search for the tribal village. After reaching the area, they discover the horrifying remains of Bill's friend, whose body has been partially regurgitated by an anaconda. Balsam explains that after hunting, anacondas often become sluggish and may vomit their prey when they sense danger nearby. He also warns the group that the snake responsible for this attack is different from the one they encountered earlier. According to him, another anaconda has entered this territory because it is mating season. He urges everyone to reach the tribal village before nightfall. After some time, the group finally arrives at the tribal settlement. To their shock, the entire village is abandoned. Human skeletons are scattered across the area, and the remains of a dead anaconda are also found nearby. Terrified by what they see, most of the group wants to leave immediately. However, Jack remains focused on finding the mysterious flower. While searching the village, they notice paintings created by the tribal people. One of the paintings clearly shows the rare flower they have been searching for. This convinces the group that the flower must be somewhere nearby. That night, since nobody is willing to follow Jack anymore, the group prepares to leave by boat. Later, Gotham secretly searches through Bill's bag. Inside, he discovers a pistol and a satellite phone. It is revealed that Bill had secretly recovered those items from another explorer who had previously been killed by an anaconda. However, Bill never told the group because he did not want anyone abandoning the mission before he received his money and completed the expedition. When Gotham tries to contact the police using the satellite phone, a spider suddenly bites Cotton on the hand. The bite quickly affects him, and he carefully traps the spider back inside the box. The venom from the spider causes Gotham's body to become partially paralyzed. A nearby woman notices that Golden is unable to speak properly. She sees strange bite marks on his body and realizes that he is still alive. She immediately informs the others that something is seriously wrong. Moments later, Golden suddenly screams in terror. When everyone rushes to the scene, they discover that a giant anaconda has swallowed Gotham. Terrified, the group quickly gathers their belongings and prepares to leave the area. They return to Jack, but by then, Jack has left with the raft they made. After that, he calls the police from the satellite and says that our boat fell off the waterfall. Meanwhile, one of their lost companions somehow manages to find his way back to the group. Soon after, they notice a strange light outside and carefully step out from their shelter. Just as the last person is about to escape, he becomes trapped in the muddy ground. The others rush to help pull him free. Suddenly, a massive anaconda appears and prepares to attack him. Sam quickly reacts and slices the snake's neck with a blade, killing it before it can strike. However, another giant anaconda suddenly attacks from behind and grabs one of the group members. Everyone immediately chases after the creature. Before the snake can swallow its victim, Bill stabs it with his knife. The attack fatally injures the anaconda and saves their companion. At the same time, Jack finally reaches the hidden location containing the rare Blood Orchid flower, the reason everyone traveled deep into the jungle. Realizing that the others no longer trust him, Jack decides to escape with the valuable flowers for himself. The other group members also go there and are watching Jack from a distance. They know that Jack has a gun, so they don't go near him and decide to steal his raft. As they approach his raft, Jack takes them at gunpoint and shoots Bill in the shoulder and orders her to collect the Blood Orchid flowers growing across a dangerous tree bridge. When she looks down into the deep pit below, she sees two enormous anacondas moving together beneath the bridge. Meanwhile, Sam manages to return and secretly moves closer to help her. As Gandhi carefully transfers the flowers into a bag, Jack warns her not to try anything foolish. He threatens to kill everyone if she disobeys him. Sam is forced to move toward Gandhi to protect her. At that moment, Bill suddenly attacks Jack from behind. During the struggle, Gandhi loses her balance and nearly falls. The bag containing the flowers bursts open, scattering some of the orchids. As Jack attempts to grab the bag again, a poisonous creature hidden inside bites him. The venom quickly paralyzes his body, causing him to fall into the pit below along with Gandhi. At the same time, Gandhi struggles to climb back toward her friends. However, the unstable bridge collapses beneath her, and she also falls into the pit filled with giant anacondas. One of the snakes wraps itself around the anaconda below, creating enough distraction for Sam to climb back up safely. Another anaconda then rises from the pit and moves toward the group. One of their companions bravely distracts the creature. Meanwhile, someone pulls an oil tank from the boat and prepares to use it against the monster. Bill attempts to shoot the tank inside the snake's mouth to trigger an explosion, but the weapon overheats and fails to fire. At that moment, the companion whom Bill had previously saved grabs a gun and fires directly into the anaconda's mouth. The shot ignites the fuel inside the creature, causing a massive burst of fire. The burning anaconda loses control and falls back into the deep pit where the other giant snake is trapped. Suddenly, the ground around the pit begins collapsing. Large sections of soil and rock start falling inward. At the same time, the tree holding the rare blood orchid flowers also crashes into the pit. Within moments, both giant anacondas become buried beneath the collapsing earth along with the blood orchid tree. The deadly creatures are finally destroyed forever. In the ending scenes, Bill and Sam are shown resting together after surviving the terrifying expedition. The monkey cub is also safe and remains with them. It becomes clear that Bill and Sam have grown close to each other during the journey. After everything they experienced in the jungle, the survivors finally prepare to return home safely.